Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 One Club story from Hemel Hempstead Town with me, Daniel. It's part 34 of the Tudor Times today, and we finish our fourth and dramatic season with a little bit of a relaxing lull. And the reason for that is not of our own doing. We have been poor. We're still not near the 50-point mark, but three other sides in this league have been terrible. They're all stuck on 40 points or 38 in Grimsby's case, and by default, without actually doing much, we have managed to survive. We've got injuries again, we've got a big summer to plan for, so the season review episode next time out is going to be a very strict one where we're going to have to discuss some of the difficult decisions we're going to make. But for now, we can relax and enjoy our last two games, knowing that realistically, we've not got to worry about relegation, and that is a lovely position to be in. I'll explain the title in a moment, but if you are looking forward to this episode and a celebration of the fact we've just about done it despite not really deserving to, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. It's a massive week in the head coach and it promises to get very big soon. We'll be back with a 5-year bookmark in that one tomorrow, and we'll have this one in 2 days' time with an end of season review ahead of a big summer where we're going to have to be pretty ruthless. You can find the Cricket 22 playlist up in the eye above. Latest episode of that was out earlier this morning. But a massive thank you for your support with this and the Twitch channel too, and the football podcast, which is up in the eye above as well. But let's crack on by having a look at the schedule, because we've got one special moment that stands out. Now, we weren't on camera. We weren't really in a position where we should have been celebrating. I have never celebrated a goal in FM as much as I did. I was throwing punches all over the place. Let's have a look at the schedule for what went on. And actually, if we're being brutally honest, we were saved by a postponement. I can't remember which way round it was. I'm sure it was Stockport we were due to face on the 15th, because that was then played in the international break. But Kenilworth Road failed us for one of these games. In fact, it might have even been Oldham, because that one's been played on a Tuesday. Regardless, doesn't matter to the story. One game was called off. We ended up playing, it was due to be the Tuesday after Chesterfield or the Wednesday. We ended up putting in a friendly because we then had 2 weeks off. Ampthill, a local side, many divisions below. We won 10-0. The confidence was back. And look what happened after it. We played Grimsby away, the side that are currently bottom. This scoreline does not tell the story. Let me click on it and show you. Michael Fernandez, 93rd minute. Let's be honest about it. In the second half, we were getting battered. Then we finally went up the other end in the last minute. It was squared across goal. He tapped in from 6 yards. It was a rubbish finish, but he might have earned a life contract. I was all over the place when that went in. What a goal. And it was the moment that we knew we'd survived, because against Grimsby, who were bottom of the league as well, it was such an important goal. If they'd have hung on for the point even, today we wouldn't have been safe. We'd be on 45. And they'd be up on 39. And that's the difference these things can make. We then backed it up with a bit of confidence. A 2-0 win at home to Stockport. Probably one of the most routine wins we've had. Certainly the most routine one since we played Barrow. I don't think I mentioned the Chesterfield defeat at the start, did I? Ellis Harrison gave us the lead, but Shimanga and Craig got the goals back at the other end. We always struggle against Chesterfield. Into April though, only 1 point in 3 games. And that's why I'm so glad that other teams have been awful. Because if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't be staying up. We've shown nothing. A 1-0 defeat at home to Tranmere, a late goal conceded. We didn't deserve it, to be honest. Against Port Vale, Victor Sedende equalised, a crucial goal as it turned out. We were actually brilliant in that game and the Oldham one. But Jaden Wareham, a former player, left the club to go to League 2 Oldham. And he's doing a job in the Football League as well, by the way. 4 starts, 7 sub-appearances, a couple of goals. Turned into a decent little backup player, so maybe we should have kept him. But despite only picking up 1 point in April, we're saved by other sides. If we have a very quick look at the 3 below us before we get into the first game. Grimsby, they've been atrocious. They've picked up 1 point in their last 10 games. I'll show you Barrow, the second club. 1 win, which was their last game, in the last 7. 6 defeats in a row before that. And in the last club, Stevenage, of course very local to us. We've had some good games with them this year. No wins in their last 7. 1 point picked up. So between the 3 of them, they've picked up 5 points in their last 24 games. And that's the only reason we're surviving here. 47 points is not always enough. But we've got incredibly lucky. And as a result, We've had a reprieve, we get another season in the Football League, but I am well aware we're going to have to make big changes to this squad. Some of the legends, the David Gregorys, the Cole Kopekwas, maybe I have to concede they're not League Two footballers now. And there's a few others where we brought in short-term solutions, or we brought in players that we hoped could make it, and maybe we have to realise they're not good enough. So it's going to be a busy summer. We'll get to that in the next episode, the season review. But for now, we can enjoy our final 2 games of the season. So let's go and get into it. The first of the 2 today. We'll have a look at the youth intake in between the matches. And also start here by looking at an injury crisis. Because we've had a few players out for a long time. And we are starting to run a little bit thin on the ground. So if I show you down here, we've got the likes of Caprice, who's been out long term. Kopekwa. Jordan Ives just coming back. Aguas has had a knock. I think we had another player out as well, but I can't remember who it is. Let me just see if I'm missing someone. Oliver Turner. He's out again. Still not signing a new deal. So one of the few players we could have built around next year is going to be leaving the club. But let me go and pick this 11 very quickly. We're going to try and prioritise our own players or younger players now because we have wrapped up safety. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team that's going to host Gillingham. Well, to be honest, there's not actually a huge amount I can do. I'm tempted to bring in Aguas for Joseph on the left, who's been poor recently, but have we realistically got the fitness in Aguas to do so? Saying that he's some way short of fitness. Fernandez has been the best player this second half of the year, but he's not good enough. He's not someone we can really rely on. What it does mean, though, is our 11 for today is Gregory between the sticks, Brooks and McDonald are fullbacks with Rowe and Harbottle at centre-half. Kobe Rowe, by the way, what an addition he's been. I'm going to try and keep him in the summer. Egan comes back in a holding role. He's had a few games out. Brunt and Davey, the only 2 that are fit, with Bandera just coming back on the bench. And then Fernandez, Joseph and Sedende the front 3. Hopefully, they can finish the season in style. My worry is now, if we play really well the next 2 games with no pressure, am I going to be tempted to keep a few more of them? Because I think maybe they can do it. Just like we had at the end of last season in the playoffs. And then you get to the level and realise they're not good enough consistently. But they keep winning me over at the crucial moments. Let's see if they can do it again today. So a couple of changes for Gillingham. Leo Connor dropping out, a player we had last year at Ballymena in our Twitch save. The same as Brad Hills, who's on the bench as well. But the truth is, while this game isn't massive now for our survival chances, thanks to the 3 sides below us, it is still a massive game for these players because a lot of them are playing for their future at Hemel Hempstead. Let's go and tell the lads to go out and do what they can, show what they're capable of to us, because a lot of them won't be here next year if they can't deliver today. Let's go and get into it though. Kenilworth Road hosts a game for the final time this season, and although we've taken the trips to Luton, we've just about done enough. As Tatonda throws in early for Gillingham, playing 2 very good sides, and I would expect to have 2 tough days at the office. As Gillingham play back to their keeper Chapman, out towards the right back, Lintott gets it into Morton, who finds Castro. He goes wide, Garnacho takes on his man, Brooks struggling to deal with him. I almost don't know what tactic to play next season either, because I'm sort of caught between the one that we're playing now, maybe throwing in a number 10, being a bit more aggressive, maybe even going to a back 3, although that didn't work out last time, and just trying to put a bit of emphasis on protecting his defence and almost having 2 sort of teams, a defensive team and an attacking team within the 11. As Morton picks the ball up left side of the box into the back post to Garnacho. And all I can say is thank God these 2 games aren't important because we are not going to be getting any points. Let me tell you that 5 minutes in. And we are straight back with a corner at the other end. 18 on the clock. Fernandez into Joseph. Hits the crossbar. It's a decent effort in fairness. But it doesn't count and we're still yet to have a shot on target. 22 minutes gone. It's not good enough. And thank God it's 1 game later because look. Grimsby are winning. Stevenage getting a point. That Michael Fernandez goal is going to be the most important one in our history. I can just tell it. As Kobe Rowe picks it up at the back to Egan. He finds Brunt in the middle, wide to McDonough. And now Fernandez. Can he beat his man? He does, but then he's forced back to Brunt. They're trying to make runs off him, but it's a little bit safe. It's a little bit cautious. Here's Fernandez, though, trying to turn the tide. Gives it to Brunt, to McDonough, into Davey. Got 2 over on the left. Brooks is one of them. We're playing some nice stuff here. Out to Ryan Joseph. There's 3 in the middle, but can he deliver? Back to Brooks. In towards Fernandez. He might be rubbish on paper. His stats suggest he shouldn't be that good. His attributes are mediocre at the National League level. But he just keeps scoring, keeps assisting, and keeps producing massive moments. Hemel 1, Gillingham 1. It was a really well-worked move on the floor. And McDonough's got a chance to create another here on the right. To Brunt, to Egan. to Davey. Chance from distance into Joseph. It's brilliant football. And suddenly we're carving Gillingham open. The confidence is coming. And this is exactly what I said at the start of the game. They're now making me think maybe they can compete with the top sides at this level. But it's very different when there's no pressure on. I still think we're going to need to add 6 or 7 to this squad. And at half-time, although we lead 2-1, we've not really offered a lot more. We've scored 2 lovely goals. We've created a couple of chances. But we look so vulnerable at the back. Centre-half is definitely a target position. Kopekwa, the legend, is no longer good enough. Harbottle was never good enough. Kobe Rote will try and keep, but we're going to need a superstar back there. We've got to try and keep McDonough. Whether that's possible, I don't know. I think we're going to have to upgrade Gregory, as much as I never wanted to say those words. And we need a powerhouse in the middle, particularly if Turner goes. Up front, Sedende should be a backup next year at most, but finding these players is harder, isn't it? We said that last summer, and we could not find anyone as good as Sedende, as McDonough gets it to Brunt. Let's be honest, our best signings in January, Egan and McDonough, and even Kobe Rote to an extent, we signed blind. There were deadline day panics that worked out. As Fernandez has set up another goal, he's in absolutely brilliant form, and Teddy Davey busting a gut from midfield, trying to prove he's the man to take that Oliver Turner shirt. 3-1 against Gillingham, they're bottling their playoff chances, but they've got another corner here at the front post with Bassett, headed just over the bar. Goal kick, 5 gone in the second half, and we're looking pretty good, we can't complain. As Chapman goes for a big kick downfield, headed away by Egan as far as Brooks, he gives it to Davey and Brunt. Can we turn on the style now we've survived? Ball through is poor, Bassett heads away. Smith picks it up left midfield, back to Bassett again. But Gillingham not really taking a risk, just going back to the keeper, playing sideways an awful lot, and making it quite easy for us to defend. As it's a long ball forwards, that's awful. Absolutely awful. Gregory saves the day, but Riley Harbottle is beaten by a straight ball over the top, and we've got to replace players like that. Tatonda with a throw on the left-hand side. Sure, we had him at Barnet a couple of years ago in our network save. Out to Smith on the left wing. Cuts back from the byline to Tatonda again. Into Garnacho who scored the first, but Brooks heads clear. Been a very good game of football this. Into the back post, Rowe heads away. Tatonda there for a third time. Smith on the left wing. Chance to get to the byline again. There's 4 in the middle. Alafi's one of them. And that's a good finish. A free header. I mean, Harbottle completely lost him. He's swinging his arms about, but centre-half is a target area. We know that for sure. Here come Gillingham again though. Garnacho on the right-hand side to Castro. Still persisting with their attacks. They're playing lovely stuff. And they're in again with Smith. Good save, David Gregory. He's trying to prove himself again. But we look so vulnerable at the back. Even with 3 goals scored, we don't look like we're going to win a game at home. As Rowe heads the ball away as far as the second scorer. Got a man out on the left in Smith. Chance to cross. Goes back to Tatonda. Into Garnacho. It's straight at the keeper. He should have done better with that. With a quarter to go though, we survive. We're going to make some changes. Chapman's got the goal kick first though. Long downfield to Garnacho. Free header. Rowe gets it away to Harbottle, who goes all the way back to Gregory. Big ball downfield. Nobody's there. Tucker away to Linter. To Castro. Garnacho. To Alafi. Intercepted by Brooks, but he loses it in his own left back area. Harbottle's flown in. Awful from both of those defenders. It's 3-3. I'm so annoyed because it's such an avoidable goal. Brooks just had to clear it. Harbottle just had to stay on his feet. And if either of those things had happened, we'd still be 3-2 up. Let's go and make some changes though. Brunt in the middle is shattered, so Bandera on for him. Sedende replaced by Harrison. For some reason anxious, despite being the most experienced pro in the team. McDonough at right back, there's not really a sub for him here. So I'm tempted to take off the left back, but he has been okay. It's Harbottle more that's letting him down, and we haven't got Kopekwa. So instead, I'm going to bring on Henry Oshieng or Dylan Barkers. Barkers for Egan. 15 minutes to go. Let's see if we can at least get a point, because defensively, we've been shambolic. 5 minutes to go, and this is the other thing, by the way. How is our defence all rated 6.9 and above when we've let in 3 goals? And we saw that third goal. It was awful defending. I don't really understand it. Seems to be real mismatch on the ratings here, as it's up towards Gillingham's front man again. Thomas almost made it 4-3 if he'd got in there, as Bassett goes down the left to Smith. Don't rule it out just yet. Ackhurst inside to Castro, back to Bassett. Chipped up, Davey intercepts. Harrison plays it to Bandera, to Davey. Can we get in? That one more chance. Goes left to Joseph, it's the wrong ball. Had to try and play in Fernandes there. Rowe heads it away to Barkers. We're still going. Bandera wide to Fernandes. Got support. Finds Bandera to Harrison. What a strike. He will be leaving the club at the end of this season because he's out of contract and he wants bigger money than he's on. But what a player. He scored crucial goals for us. A penalty at Kings Lynn last year to win us a game 1-0 in the National League playoff race. And a couple this year that have just saved the day. This one might wrap us up 3 points and crucially make us look better by taking us to the 50-point mark. 4-3 Hemel Hempstead. We finished the season in style at home. Now let's go away to the table toppers Accrington. Have they won the title already or will they be going full throttle? Let's go and find out. Well, a few players back fit as we come back for the final game of the season. We're away to Accrington who have won promotion but have not yet wrapped up the title. So they're going to be going all guns blazing. Mansfield are in second place away to Port Vale in the bottom half. So Accrington will know they've probably got to win. Let's have a very quick look at our youth intake as we promised a little bit earlier on. It's not the best one in the world, but there were some more promising signs this year. I think that's fair to say. A couple of players with 1-star ability and 4-star potential, but realistically, still none good enough to make it to the top. Well, I know he's not fully fit today, but it might be a final goodbye for Cole Kopekwa, depending on how the summer goes. So, at the very most, he's going to be a backup next year. At the worst, he might not be here, so he deserves his send-off. It means he's the only change to the starting 11 from the last game. On the bench, we've brought in a couple of others. Elliot Hewitt comes back into the squad. Jordan Ibe drops out completely, as does Henry Oshieng. The rest of the squad, though, stays the same. No need to make major changes. We actually did all right against Gillingham. We've just got to get a better defence. Let's go and get into the final game, see if we can finish in style. Here we go then. Ross Sykes hoping to be the league-winning skipper at the end of this day. They've got some good players. They've got a fairly young side, though. They've done really well to bounce back under Simon Grayson. Let's ask the lads to pick up where they left off. We're going to drop to balanced immediately. Anything other than a defeat here, and we've done pretty well. Let's get into the first half. Well, 7 minutes on the clock, and we've got a throw-in down by the left-hand side. Brooks arguably a foul throw there into Egan. Davey back out to Brooks, the left-back. Might bring him into centre-mid next year. It is his strongest position, particularly if Turner does go, as Davey finds Egan again. Back to Davey, out wide to Fernandes on the right, so often the overachiever this year. Delivers to Ryan Joseph. The pressure that Accrington are under is definitely affecting their performance here, because that is a shocking start. Ryan Joseph with the goal, and Hemel Hempstead, we look unbeatable. Now we've got nothing to play for. As Nolan picks it up in the middle, it's got 2 men to play through, and of course, we're not going to keep a clean sheet, we know that. Osorio in, Gregory beaten. What a sliding tackle from McDonough. We have to try and keep him next year. Been the best blind buy I've ever had in this save. To just sign him because we were desperate and there was no wage contribution, not even knowing what any of his attributes were. And he's turned out to be the second best player at the club on paper and one of the best and most consistent performers in this run-in. 1-0 to Hemel with 15 gone. Been a delightful end to the season. Much nicer without any pressure, isn't it? Well, at the moment, I think all 3 teams below us are on 41 points with the way results are. So someone might be going down and staying up on goal difference. Isherwood with a long kick for Accrington. We've not got to worry about that. What we have got to worry about is getting beat by straight balls over the top. We're in the Football League now. The goalkeeper's kick from the back should not be getting assists. That's terrible. I know Kopek was not fit, but it's not good enough regardless. All 3 teams are on 41 points until now. Barrow are behind. They dropped to 40. So it's Stevenage versus Grimsby as it stands. Stevenage being held, Grimsby losing, and Accrington on the front foot against us. But we don't have to worry about the result as Proctor plays back to Sykes, the skipper. Still hoping to lift that title today. Kopekwa heads the long ball forward away to Brunt. To Rowe. Kopekwa up towards Victor Sedende. Had another little poor patch in recent games. He's just not consistent enough for this level. We need a proper out-and-out scorer. Sedende is a National League/League 2 player at best. As Glennon gets it at left-back to Proctor. Ball into midfield to Hamilton, over the top to Nolan. We are getting carved to shreds. And I'm going to have to drop the defensive line here because as much as I like playing a bit higher, we've been embarrassing. And it's not even the fact that we're getting beaten by brilliant moves. It's straight balls over the top of the defence. It's straight ball between the fullback and centre-half. and at half-time, despite a decent performance, again, we trailed 2-1 due to silly goals conceded. So let's tell the lads to keep it up, try and produce the same going forward and a bit better at the back. And maybe that's the change we have to concede in League 2 next year. Quite a few of our goals are from conceding that high line, letting balls over the top, and maybe we just have to accept our limitations. As Nolan picks it up again, doesn't matter if we drop the line, we've defended exactly the same there. Gregory comes to the rescue, makes a very good save. Osorio should have wrapped this game up and the title for Accrington Stanley. Osorio puts in the corner though, Rowe heads away. Olasanya will get there first, no pressure on him whatsoever. And he can just carry the ball forward to Osorio. Through ball again, it's overhit, and that'll be a goal kick. We survive. Corner kick for Fernandez, sets up a few goals, and it's a silly penalty, and it's the man on the yellow cards. Capek was brought down, and Sedende has a chance to end the goal drought and put us back on terms and make the title race interesting. Victor Sedende, just about. Isherwood got a big hand to it. He really should have kept it out. It was feeble. But it's his 100th goal for Hemel Hempstead. Oh, that's class. If he does end up being a bit part player in this team, what an achievement for him to have reached beforehand. 20 minutes to go. Let's make some changes because it's been a very good display so far. First change in midfield will be Teddy Davey off, Bandera coming on. At the back, I'm going to bring on Carson for Brooks because he doesn't get enough appearances at the minute. And we're also going to take off either McDonough, who's knackered, and that is the one worry, is his fitness, to be brutally honest, but he's pretty good aside from that, or Cole Kopekwa, who was just coming back. I think we'll take off Kopekwa because he deserves to be applauded off the pitch. And with 20 minutes to go, it's 2-2, and Accrington clinging on by goal difference at the minute because Mansfield are ahead until now. They drop points as soon as I say it. Stevenage going down at the moment. 5 minutes to go. Grimsby are losing. Stevenage just need a goal. If they win or get a result, they stay up. Due to the slight problem, we can't see their score. We've held on for a brilliant point. We're going to watch Accrington lift the league anyway. They deserve it based on their performances this season. But what an effort from us. We're probably happier to be 21st than they are to have won the league. And all sides of the ground will be cheering. If I was a Hemel fan, I'd be staying applauding them. Because what an achievement for both clubs. Accrington are back in League 1, as you can see. And we have got another season in League 2. Only just, but it still counts. Let's see who went down. Stevenage are down. They didn't do what they needed. One goal against Chesterfield and they would have stayed up. Barrow lost 2-0 at home. Grimsby lost 2-0 at home. But Stevenage were held 0-0 and in the end didn't quite do enough. Up go Mansfield, Bristol Rovers and Accrington. The playoffs are 4 good sides as well. So, unless there's a big side coming down, this league could get a little weaker next year. A wonderful effort though to stay up. I know we didn't do much of it ourselves, but when there was no pressure at the end of the season, we saw there's a lot of hope for the future at this club. Maybe we just need some more experience to knit it together. But we're going to be back in a couple of days' time here for our end of season review. As usual, we'll pick a little area off the pitch that we want to focus on and talk about. But the main thing is going to be how ruthless are we prepared to be this summer? Which players are we going to let go? And where are we going to attempt to rebuild? If you're looking forward to that and you are enjoying the series, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from 2 long-term stories. We've got our 5-year bookmark in the head coach tomorrow as we look back at the clubs we've managed and of course the footballing world in a bit more detail. And then we'll get prepared for a big summer here. There's Cricket 22 content up in the eye above, the latest episode earlier today if you haven't seen it. But a massive thank you for watching, your continued support as always. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time for a big end of season review where we decide the future of a lot of these Hemel Hempstead players. I'll see you there.